today's video, we're going to discuss a little bit about how to handle a dog on a trail. We've also got a mistake that I've made, and then we're also going to be ending the video with a giveaway. You can enter to win, and if any of that sounds good to you, make sure you watch till the end of the video. So let's dive right in. The topic was brought up the other day on a Facebook page, and it said, how do you handle dogs on the trail or something like that? And I can tell you from riding bikes daily for years that, oh, look at the bunny. There's our little bunny. The other day I was riding and I didn't have my camera recording. There you go, little guy. Sorry, I love the wildlife. That's half the reason I do this, if not 90% of the reason. A little bit health related, but mostly I just like to see what I can see on these old back roads. So here's a couple of things you can do. Number one is, you know there's a bunch of dogs in your area, try to avoid that area. I think trying to avoid the dog altogether is going to be your best option. Keep you safer on your bike. That's not always going to be an option. The next option is, say there's a dog just like we just passed. You can tell that dog, even though he was a bigger dog, he's more curious about what the bike is than anything. We live out in the country, so he's not seeing a whole lot of bikes. And even though he's a bigger pup, you could tell he was just coming out there more curious than anything. So keep an eye on the dog's behavior. You can learn a lot about a dog and the way he's going to behave by just merely looking at the dog. That hair on the back of their shoulders, if it's standing up, he's going to be more in what I'd call an aggressive stance, with his tail being up or straight out like a pointer dog, and keep an eye on their ears and their eyes. But a lot of times, if you're out riding, just merely making eye contact with the dog, mean mug them if you will, they can pick up on your body language as well. They definitely are masters at reading body language, and if they think, okay, I don't want to mess with this person because they look like they may be as aggressive as me, a lot of times that'll get them to turn. And if you notice, that's basically all I did with that pup. He just kind of turned around and was like, okay, I don't want no part of this. That's not going to be any fun. That's an option you can use. And then don't ever underestimate the power of a water bottle. A lot of your dogs don't like getting hit with a little squirt of water. So if they come up and they're barking real loud, can't avoid this confrontation with the dog. For whatever reason, you can't turn around. It's on your way home. I've squirted a lot of dog in the face with the water from the water bottle. They've all ran away. So that's another option. Even the one that's coming up really aggressive, growling, acting like he's trying to bite you, a lot of times the water bottle will work. And then also, if you haven't been practicing, especially with a really aggressive dog, you can always try to get your body on the other side of your bike. And that's really easy to kind of step over your bike, get your legs all on one side of the bike. Say the dog's coming up on the right over here. You can lift your leg, bring it up over. Especially with the e-bikes, it's real easy. You can go ahead and gas on out and just try to put your bike in between you and the aggressive dog. Now again, this isn't going to be a comprehensive list, and it's not a cure-all. These are just some ideas because I read it on a post recently about how do you handle dogs. I would ordinarily answer this post on Facebook, the group that I was on, but here's you a fun story. This morning there was a guy asking, he's missing one of the fender bolts on his bike, and I tried to tell him that, hey, that company sends you a bunch of extra bolts, brake pads, and all kinds of stuff. You might just look through the little Ziploc baggies that are all stapled together, because the bolt you're needing is probably in there. They send a bunch of extras. And I noticed that my comment was pending approval. So evidently I've aggravated those people in some fashion or form. I won't be back. I know what it's like to be a moderator and or an admin, and if you've got to approve somebody's post every time they make a comment, it just turns into unnecessary work. For whatever reason, they've put me on comment approval, and that's awesome. It's their page. They can do what they want. I don't feel like I've been rude or any of that, but you know, a lot of times you can be making a comment and somebody, you can't hear the tone of voice, so it could have been just simply misread. I don't know. None of my posts have been deleted. I've never even been reached out to by the company for a warning or anything like that. But nonetheless, my comments are on approval, so I'll stay away from that side. It doesn't matter. I will remove myself. That way they don't have to worry about my comments. Things happen, and that's where we started this video. is making mistakes. Many of you know that we've been making a little bit of archery gear with our leather shop over the last several years, especially when you're talking about traditional archery. And we don't make much, you know, a couple little deals like arm guards and or shooting tabs, that type of stuff. But we did have an order, came in last week. The guy ordered shooting tab from us. Long story short, I overlooked it. He actually ordered 2 of them. So he got it and he's like, hey, I ordered 2 of these and you guys only shipped me 1. I felt really bad about it. I mean, it really made me feel dumb. It was a simple, stupid mistake on my part. I should have caught it, and for whatever reason, it slipped past me. So here's an official apology to that young man who bought our shooting tab. We did immediately send out another one to him, apologized and did the best we could. So basically, my point is this, and we've kind of made some videos in the past about different products that we've reviewed, and or I like to include the customer service experience. Accidents happen. I've got to say this, the guy was very nice and he extended us some grace. It was his first order from our little leather shop. He extended some grace to us, and I think if we all, when something happens, we'll kind of use him as an example of how we should all act. And I've got to say thank you so much for being understanding and still allowing us to fulfill the order. And I truly do. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I felt bad when I seen it. At the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and that was a mistake I made. So in case you're curious, it was a shooting tab very similar to this one right here. If you can see this one, it's a right-handed. So if you guys shoot right-handed and you're a trad bow shoot, it's one of the shooting tabs that we make there in the shop, and this one's actually got a little laser engraved Texas emblem with a broadhead that I designed myself. And if you guys would like the chance to enter to win that, comment down below, say I'm in. After this video get 400 views, we will pick a winner and send that out to whoever the lucky winner is. So if that's something that you do like, something you're interested in, comment down below, I'm in. This is going to be a real short video today, guys. I'm trying to fill some other orders that came in. We're getting closer to hunting season, so a lot of people are thinking about hunting. We've got a handful of things on our website, Heartland Leatherworks. Put a link down below to the website. Obviously, it's not an affiliate link, it is the link. That's one of the ways we try to make a little bit of money here doing leather work. And we also 3D print gear as well for different hunting accessories. Everybody's clear, that's our website. That's what this channel's all about, is supporting, number one, our little business that we have on the side. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers, and if you like hunting, fishing, camping, archery, that kind of stuff, consider joining our little family here. I know with your help, we can make that goal of 10,000 subscribers. I hope you all have a blessed week. I hope you all can get outside and make something happen. Have a blessed week, everybody. Man, they're doing some really neat stuff over here by this one pond that we've highlighted in videos several times. He's kind of cleaned all this up back here, smoothed it out. I don't know what his plans are. I haven't seen him in a couple of days. I need to ask him what he's planning on doing. And that almost looks like an alligator floating out there in the water. What is that? Man, I need my binoculars. What in the world is that? You guys see that out there? Maybe I can zoom in on it when I get back, but it's probably not going to be super helpful. It's making a wake and it's going against the wave and the wind, so it's not like a little log floating out there, and it ain't a duck. Man, I don't know what that is. Maybe a beaver? I don't know. Comment down below if you think you know what that is. That's wow. Anyways, I was bringing you over here to show you this. I think he's potentially going to turn that into a food plot, maybe? I don't know, but it's really pretty. And then they've also dozed around some other trails around here. We're expecting rain again today. Man, I hope we get it. Everything's going dry. I generally ride real early in the morning, then I cut my grass, but my grass don't even need cut. Anyways, if you think you know what that is, comment down below, let us know. Hope you all have a blessed week, and let's get outside and make something happen.